Hi children, good morning. This is Kameshwari. Welcome to video classes. In the last video, I started the second lesson of geography part. The land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wildlife resources. I started. In this video, I want to explain you the soil. In the last video I completed land. What is the importance of land? How can we conserve the land? In the last video I explained you. In this video we will discuss the soil. How many types of soils are there? What is the meaning of soil? Let us come to this lesson, soil. Soil means the thin layer of grainy substance covering the surface of the earth is called soil. Soil is the thin layer of grainy substance covering the surface of the earth is called a soil. In our India, different types of soils are in different places. Soils are different one area to another area. Why such differences occurs, I will explain you now. Soil is made up of organic matter, minerals and weathered rocks found on the earth. How did the soil made? The soil is made up of organic matter, minerals and weathered rocks. What is the meaning of weathering? Weathering means the breaking up and the decay of exposed rocks by the temperature changes, frost, action, plants, animals and human activity. Based on these all things, the soil made up of organic matter, minerals and weathered rocks. The right mix of minerals and organic matter make the soil fertile. When the soil is fertile, those soils are suitable for the agriculture. When the soil is fertile, the right mix of minerals and organic matter, that area soil is fertile. That type of soils are suitable for growing all types of crops. How the soils formed? Here in your textbook this picture is given. See here, the top soil with humus and vegetation. We are all growing crops in the top of the soil, this area. The bottom layer of the soil, the subsoil with sand, silt and clay are there. Next, weathered rock materials are available. At last, parent rock is there. Based on the parent rock, the soil quality is dependent. The quality of soil is dependent on the parent rock. Another picture is also given in your textbook, that is the factors affecting the soil formation. How the soils form on this earth. The major factors of soil formation are the nature of the parent rock and the climate factors, relief, flora, fauna and microorganisms and time. These five are the important factors affecting the soil formation. Now I explain this picture, listen carefully. The parent rock. Based on the parent rock, the soil is divided. How the parent rock influences the soil's quality? It determines the color, texture, chemical properties, mineral context and permeability. Color. Based on the parent rock, the color is fixed. Suppose here black rock is there, the parent rock is black in color, the soils are black color soils are there in that area. There red color parent rock is there. So at the time red soils are you found in such areas. Some areas mixture of black and red colored parent rocks are there. At the time you found out the laterite soils. Next, chemicals and texture. How is the land? How is the soil? It is loose or tight, or how is that? That is depend upon the texture of the soil. Next, chemicals properties also play an important role in our soils. Suppose the underground magma comes out of the earth, it becomes cool. At the time some rocks are formed. So many chemicals and minerals also comes out of the earth's surface at that time. So the chemicals also mixed in these soils, and chemicals, minerals, permeability, these are all the importance in the soil. Next, come to the climate. Climate is different from one area to another area. Temperature and rainfall influences the rate of weathering and humus. Suppose one area receives the lot of heat from the sun. At that time that soils are differ from remaining areas soils. And rainfall and climate also influences the quality of the soil, and flora, fauna and microorganisms. Based on these things the soil's fertility is also changing one area to another area. Time determines the thickness of the soil. Children, did you know it takes hundreds of years to make just 1 centimeter of soil? So time is one important factor affecting the soil formation. So with the help of these 5 factors, soils are formed on this earth. These 5 factors affecting the soil formation. Degradation of soil and conservation measures. Nowadays soils are depletion, and soil is one of the important resource. Soil erosion and depletion are the major threat to soil as a resource. Both humans and natural factors can lead to degradation of soils. Not only the natural factors but also the humans also lead degradation of the soils. Natural factors, the landslides and floods, tsunamis, these are all. And humans also damaged our soil. They are digging the earth, they are blasting the bombs. Due to these are all things, you lost your soils. What are the factors are degradation our soils? Factors which lead to soil degradation are deforestation, overgrazing, overuse of chemical fertilizers or pesticides, rainwash, landslides and floods. These are the main factors to lead a soil degradation. Deforestation, already we know very well. Nowadays, we are all clear the forests. Deforestation is going on. That's why what happened, your soil's fertility is also gone. Overgrazing. Grazing means our cattle wealth or grazing, eating the grass. But in the olden days, what happened? The cattle are eating the grass in one area. They leave that area some days. At the time, the grass grown in those area. But nowadays, what happened? Overgrazing. Completely, the cattle grazing that area's grass. That's why overgrazing, that grass did not stop the rainwater. Rainwater washed away the topmost layer of the earth's surface. Next, overuse of chemicals and fertilizers or pesticides. Nowadays, all are using the lot of chemicals, fertilizers and pesticides. The reason is we want a lot of product. The quantity is growing but quality is decreasing. After the agricultural revolution, green revolution, the use of fertilizers and pesticides are increasing. The rain wash and landslides, floods, these are the main factors of the soil degradation. Landslides. What is meant by the landslides? Landslides is a disaster that involves the breakup of downhill flow of rock, mud, water and anything caught in the path. Landslide, another name of the landslide is earthfall. The landslides are simply defined as the mass movement of rock, debris or earth down slope. Here one picture is given. It is the settlement area of the people. One hill is located near that area. Due to humans' activities or natural activities, what happened here? The land, some of the land of the top of the area, the debris, that earth down a slope, those are all comes down part of the earth. They often take place in the conjunction with earthquakes, floods and volcanoes. A prolonged spell of rainfall can cause heavy landslide that can block the flow of a river for quite some time. The settlements downstream on its bursting. In the hilly terrain, landslides have been a major and widely spread natural disaster that often strike off and property and occupy a position of major concern. How did you stop? What are the precautions you will take who are living in those areas? Okay. Now, such areas can be avoided for building or settlements. Such areas are avoided for buildings and settlements. Next, construction of retention wall to stop land from the slipping. You constructed one wall at the bottom part of a hill. That wall stopped what is coming from the top of the hill area. Increase the vegetation over to arrest the landslide. These are the measures given in your textbook. That is about our landslide. Okay. Methods of soil conservation. Okay, soil is very important. It is one of the important natural resources for us. How can we conserve the soil? What are the methods we have to follow? First one, mulching. The bare ground between plants and covered with a layer of organic matter like a straw. It helps to retain soil moisture. Okay, it is a bare ground between the plants. While you are growing the plant, at that time that area is covered with a layer of organic matter like a straw. It helps to retain the soil moisture, that is called mulching. Next, contour barriers. Stones, grass, soil are used to build barriers along the contours. Trenches are made in front of barriers to collect water. The slope of the hilly areas, the stones, grass, soil are used to build barriers along the contours. Trenches are made in front of the barriers to collect the water. That is the contour barriers. Rock dam. Rocks are piled up to slow down to flow of water. This prevents gullies and further soil loss. Water is flowing the top areas to down areas. Between that, the water is coming too fastly. At that time, if you put one big rock in the flow of the water, that rock stopped the speed of the water. You constructed like a dam using the rocks. That is called the rock dams. Next, terrace farming. You see here, terrace farming is like that. Both flat steeps or terraces are made on the steep slopes so that flat surfaces are available to grow crops. They reduce surface runoff and soil erosion. If you grow the crops in the terraces, in the board of flat steps, they control the soil erosion. Next, intercropping. The different crops are grown in the alternative rows. One row you should grow in one crops and another row you should grow in another crops. And like that, different crops are grown in alternative rows and are sown at different times to protect the soil from the rain wash. Children, have you understood this lesson? You read the lesson 2 or 3 times in the textbook. If you have any doubts, you call me individually. I will explain your doubts. Okay, children? Bye.